Welcome to the App Showcase, where we review Microsoft-related apps primarily from the App Store, but also through trial versions. SV MacPack is a certified veteran-owned and HubZone consulting firm supporting primarily the U.S. federal government. In support of our customers' need to do market research on apps such as these, we started recording our review of these apps. We hope these reviews help you as well. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the carousel slider from Debopam. Sorry if I'm brutalizing the name there, apologize. This is an app that's on the Microsoft App Store. As always, I'll be moving fast, pointing out what I like and what would make me hesitate to recommend this app to my customers. My goal is to be as candid as I would be if just talking to my own team about this app. Hopefully the review helps you and perhaps even provides the publisher feedback that they can use to make the app even better. Let's go ahead and get started reviewing this app. I have the app already open from the Microsoft Store here. I'm starting from the very beginning. Usually I might have added this app already to my SharePoint environment, but I'm not doing that. I want to be able to give you that full experience. So here, the first thing I look for is the ratings. 2.5 stars is not too good. Let's go ahead and look at the reviews and see what they got. Wow, 9 ratings, 9 reviews, and those do not come through too well. This is interesting. Bleeds outside the zone. This is all pretty straightforward stuff. Coming down, this is not looking good on the reviews side. What's especially not helpful, right? 2013, that was 4+ years, almost 5 years ago. One version. Let's go ahead and move through this pretty fast. Usually I look for, does it have a support, but I'm not even bothering looking at that really quick because this might be a quick review for us unless it's spectacular when it gets there. Here, I like the apps. It talks about how to add it, time between it. So this is all pretty straightforward. They've got images, and it's showing you how you can pop through the numbers, etc. Here, it's got it's just telling us how we do the settings. I don't know if you can see these. These are all straightforward. That's interesting. I really like this. This will be interesting. You can choose whatever you want. New picture, old picture. That's pretty cool. I haven't seen that in somebody's stuff. Go left, go right. That's pretty good functionality that they added in. Okay, let me go ahead and grab this app. The way I add apps now to my environment is I grab the number, and then I go back to my site. I have a link here that I've already set up on the top nav that just gets me quicker to adding an app. I'm going to put it up here. And there it is, the carousel slider. Let's go ahead and see if we can add this guy. So they say it's free, and I got a feeling it is free. They might not even exist anymore. Let's go ahead and add it and see what happens. So go ahead and continue. Return to the site. I'm in a complete lab environment. It's the only reason I'm trusting it. It's part of the value I try to bring you is that you don't have to download this stuff yourself to see whether it's going to fit or not. There it is, the carousel slider. It's going to take a few minutes to load. Let me go back here to the main page that they had, just reading really quickly. They've got this on how to get it started. So they said deploy the app and then just go straight to the page and add the web part. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if their app is just the web part. Here it talks about a picture library. Times have changed. I'm hoping it's not limited to a picture library, like people could point to any library. Use only the library name. That's fine. Okay, and then here the user can configure certain things. Let me see if it's loaded yet. Hitting refresh. Nah, it's still taking time, so I'll come back here, keep reading the directions. Speed. Okay, there you go. I was always wondering this. So it's in milliseconds, and I have no idea. That's interesting too. From a developer standpoint, do you really need to do things in milliseconds? Because I barely think in seconds. Milliseconds makes me work too hard. I'm wondering how hard it is to configure a field like that to just work in seconds instead of milliseconds. It's not like, a lot of us are like, I want it to be 50 milliseconds slower or something. That seems like a little overkill on functionality, but maybe that's a limitation within the software. Okay, so it's going through numbers. Okay, so how many slides there are. This is pretty cool functionality. This is interesting how they have guidance on how to configure it up there. This looks like it's just a person who did a quick little app and put it out there for our use. So I appreciate that they they throw out some of these apps for people to use. Let's go ahead and refresh one more time, see if it's done. There it is. I'm just going to click on it and see what we see. Okay. So there you go. It's got good guidance. I like this. It's just telling you, and I won't zoom in, but it's just telling you, hey, Neil, it's the wrong place. Go back to your home page and do it there. So I am going back to my home page. I'm going to edit the page and see about adding this slider now. I'm going to put it on the right-hand side. Insert an app part. It's called Carousel Slider, so there it is. Hit add. Okay, so it loaded nice and clean. Actually, if there's a way for developers to do this, it'd be nice if it loads and says, click on the configuration so you edit the web part. Or even a lot of times I've seen web parts where it actually had the link that comes in here to edit it. First thing I'm going to do is just pop in. I'm not sure if it's doing this, but I'm just going to say border only because I've done another review and I know that's what I want. Now coming down here, I want to see how intuitive this is. So carousel speed, well, first off, this is great. On another app, I didn't know what the speed was, but at least I know it's in milliseconds. So that's pretty good. I might change this to something like 500 and see. So carousel style, it gives you a couple. I want to do slide left. I like how it does none. I'm assuming that means it just flips. Control the time it takes for the, okay, so how fast does it transition? That's interesting. Actually, I'd like that to be pretty fast. So here, next buttons, let's go ahead and just say up and slow down there. Now I'm just having too much fun. Pixel height, that's pretty good. I am kind of curious. There's a previous button, so up and let's call this down. I'm not sure why the buttons aren't all together, but the play button name is get rolling. Just doing a lot of demos of these apps, so it's fun to kind of come up with something interesting. So here I have the library name is called Slider Pictures, I believe. And so even something like this, the width and the height, I'm not sure why they're not anywhere near each other, but at least they're in there. I'm going to say okay and see what we have. The web part was pretty intuitive. I like that. I mean, that's what users need. And I'm going to pop over here really quick, just confirm my library name, Slider Pictures, yes. So let's go ahead and save and see what happens. So I think these are the people that might have talked about slow load time. Let's see if let me go back to that app while it's happening. To the reviews. No, this is the one that said it bleeds. Basically, they're saying it's just somebody took the image web part, and that's fine. But let's come back here and just look. I don't see anything. Let me just make sure one last time. I mean, I'm probably not going to recommend this, but let me just give them a fair shake and go down and make sure I didn't make a mistake on the carousel. Slider Pictures. Slider Pictures. Just confirming. Slider Pictures. The only thing I can think of that's be interesting is if this really is based on a picture library. I don't even think they exist anymore. I think they're in the asset libraries now, but certainly what I have is not a picture library, so that's not going to help. All right, I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to pop back over here and go ahead and wrap this up. As a recap, I'm going to recommend you skip this app pretty permanently. They're not interested in keeping it up to date, obviously. It was probably a good app at its time, but it's outdated. It should just be pulled off the Microsoft Store. I hope you found this review useful as you evaluate various apps available to you and your organization. Please provide me with feedback in the comments, letting me know how I can make the App Showcase channel and these reviews more useful to you. Feel free to even suggest apps we should review, and we'll work to get them on the schedule. Finally, if you found this review helpful, please share a note about it on one of the social media platforms or just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'm your host, Neil McDonald with SV MacPack. I thank you for joining me today and hope you'll join me again for other reviews.